Okay, so for all of our listeners, my name is Justina Ford. I'm the Soul Brand Alignment Strategist, and we are here to speak with Miss Cassandra. We're doing a testimonial, and I'm just so grateful for Cassandra to be willing to just show up in this capacity and just really share her experience and what our work has been like together. So, Cassandra, could you introduce yourself and tell people who you are?
Sure. My name is Cassandra McDonald, and I am a self-identity and purpose coach and the founder of the Live Greater Institute. So I help people in their personal development.
Awesome. Good stuff. I love it. So, question I wanted to ask you was, what initially drew you to doing this work?
Well, I heard your interview on Shanoa Alamu's podcast about how you got into Christian energy healing, and I thought that was very interesting. So then I started checking you out and seeing what you did, and we had a call, and I don't know, I just felt led to go through and sign up for business coaching because I was in this place where I was feeling like I either need to push further and hang in there and tweak some things, or I was ready to throw in the towel because I was starting to get discouraged. So I felt like it was time to invest in myself again on the business side of things so that I could just dig deeper and kind of tweak some things out and keep going.
Okay. So, I wanted to ask you, what were things like in your business prior to our work together?
I think I wasn't being clear on my messaging. I think sometimes I felt like I was kind of all over the place because I was trying to test out who was my target ideal audience and what was it that they needed from me and what did I need to say to them to show them that I had whatever solution they were looking for. I was also not feeling very clear on which route I should go in terms of doing an online course and what that would look like. I had never done an online course before, but I've taught in person for years. And so stepping into the online space I still wasn't feeling it. I was so resistant against it. I was like kicking and screaming like, no, I don't want to do it. But I see that it really is needed for me to step into the online space more and show up as an authority figure because I know that I'm needed, my message is needed, and the solutions I offer is needed. And I just needed some guidance and help with navigating that since it was kind of foreign for me.
Okay. What would you say is one of the biggest things you take away from the work that we've done together?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, one or
a
two.
lot. The first thing that came to my mind was mindset. Really owning that I am an expert in my field. I know what I'm talking about. I'm experienced, I'm educated. So helping me to shift into that mindset of authority and owning it. And you really helped me to do that. And also recognizing the value that I do provide. I went from the amount that I charge for a 90-day session to charging that for a 90-minute VIP session. And when my first client booked that, I was like, oh, it was a huge shift for me because I didn't realize how much I was undervaluing myself. And I wasn't really seeing that I do provide value and I need to charge my worth. And you really helped me to see that, like, no, you need to charge your worth. You're providing value. And so you really helped me to see that and to actually implement that.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. I love it. I love it. So with the mindset side of things, what would you say was, I guess, in our work together, what was the most helpful type of work we did around mindset?
Definitely the tapping. I'm not as consistent as I would like to be, but it is a new tool that I've been incorporating into my own toolbox, as I call it. And it's been a huge game changer for me because I think I didn't realize how much I would probably put something away and say, oh, I'll come back to it later. But then it was showing up in other ways. And in this instance, it was showing up in my business, and it was showing up in how I was showing up online. And so the tapping really helped me to like get to the root of, why was I not showing up online in an authoritative way? Why was I not putting myself out there in a bigger, better way so that I could be seen and be heard? And so the tapping and working through that together really helped me to work those kinks out.
Awesome. Yes, I love that we can bring forth the Christian energy work, because I feel like there are two things that come to my mind is just peak performance and productivity. Like whenever we feel like, okay, something's a little off, I need some help, like we can step into that place of tapping into the deeper things that are really holding us back that we don't even think would be like related to business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's when, and for me, it really affirmed what I teach. You know, it was almost like I became my own student again, because I teach living from the inside out. And I was like, oh my gosh, like here I am having to go back into my own place of being the student and realizing that there was something deeply rooted in me that was holding me back in the business sense. So it was really helpful.
Yes. And what about the strategy side? Because, you know, I love mixing mindset and brand strategy and even some business and sales stuff. What side of the strategy would you say was most helpful for you during our work together?
I think helping me to flesh out my messaging and breaking everything down. I did not realize how much I had inside of me until we started working together and you were just pulling out, and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a lot there. And I felt like before I came to you, I felt like I was this container of information and knowledge and experience, but I just didn't have it structured in a way to where I could show up, present it, make offers, get the sale, help people, provide solutions. I knew it was in there. I just didn't have this way of like pulling it out. And you really helped like pull it out and like, okay, this is your messaging. This is who your market is. This is what you need to offer. This is how you need to go about doing that. And I feel so much better now as far as like, okay, I can do this. Before I was like, I don't even know which first step to take. I don't know what to do. So that was very helpful.
Yes. I love that you said that the offer, like that's one of the biggest things. It's like, I feel like for coaches, and I remember this years and years ago when I first was just strictly doing like mindset coaching. I was like, how do I make this tangible? Like, what is the offer? You know, like I know I'm coaching, but how do I really like make sense of it all? So I love taking women through that process around just like really breaking everything down and seeing it like right before your eyes. It's almost like, oh, I am the bomb.
That's how I felt. I was like, pardon my French for somebody who may be offended, but I remember at one point I was like, I'm a badass.
There you go.
But I need to own that. And I wasn't owning that. And you helped me to do that.
Every woman needs to get to that point where they can own that and say, hey, I'm a badass. Okay. So, you know, most of my friends know, they're like, Tina, you don't even sound right when you're trying to cuss. But hey, this serves a purpose here. The energy behind that word, right?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
You are doing the thing. So I love it. And shifting into that place is almost like a light bulb just goes off. Mm-hmm. You know? Do you want to talk more about what it was like when that light bulb went off for you?
Yeah, I felt like I had this click where being more like positioning myself as a leader and as a businesswoman, not just as someone who's winging it and trying to figure it out. And I think that's where I felt I was before, where felt like I was just winging it and just trying to figure it out. And after going through this process with you, I feel clear and I'm like, okay, I'm showing up more as a leader, showing up even on the back end, you know. I spent all day yesterday tying up some loose ends with my own structure in my business, making sure I'm organized, making sure everything is cohesive. And I think that's because of that click where I'm like, okay, I want everything functional, organized, operational. And I was not thinking that way before. I was just kind of like flying by the seat of my pants.
Oh, that CEO mindset, honey.
Yes. That's how I feel like I transitioned to, where I'm like, okay, I have an operation to run. It needs to be organized. And for also, I'm thinking long term now. I'm thinking when I get to the point of needing to hire people to help me, I want to be able to say, I have this document that has all of this in there already prepared, and send it. And that's kind of what I was organizing yesterday, where I was like, I don't want to wait until I have to hire someone to do that. I want to have this organized now, so that when I'm able to do that, then it's already there and it's ready, and it's an easier transition for me. So just even thinking that way is new for me.
Yes, I love that so much. I love it. So, what would you say to someone that is interested in working with me, but they are on the fence? What would
They
you
need
say?
to get off and sign up. The biggest thing for me was, I can either keep winging it and, continue to do what I was doing, which wasn't working for me, or invest and get some tools and some strategies and basically collapse time. And I feel like really working with you is what that process did. Is I just collapsed time. I probably just bought myself a year at least of doing stupid stuff. And learning the hard way, instead of just investing in someone to help me clean some things up. And I just bought myself some time. And so I would just say, if they're on the fence and they're tired of being on the struggle bus, and you're tired of trying to figure it out, and you don't know what the hell you're doing, you need to invest in someone who does and get some help. Because it's either you're going to continue to learn the hard way and you're going to make costly mistakes, or you can pay in the front end and invest and not have to make those costly mistakes later on.
Exactly. Thank you for breaking that down, Miss Ma'am. So, do you have any final words that you want to share with anyone about the process and like what it was like and all of that stuff?
I think the most that I enjoyed, and this is why I want to invest in you again, is because you bring not just the business strategy, but you bring the Christian energy healing and mindset to the table. And I really don't see how they don't go together. You have a lot of people teaching business strategy, but you have to have the mindset to go with it. And when I was coming up, we had some moments where I was coming up some stumbling blocks. I was coming up against some brick walls. That's when your energy healing and mindset helped me break that down so we could keep moving forward. I think if I was working with someone else, I would have reached my stopping point and wouldn't have got the breakthrough that I did. And so for me, that was like the game changer, is you bringing both pieces together to help me keep moving forward.
Thank you for sharing that. And a moment of transparency. When God first, that was on my heart, where I was like mindset and strategy, I fought that a lot because of industry, right?
Yeah.
That, you have to pick what you're doing. You have to pick one niche, only solve one problem. And I fought that a lot. Like, God really was like, you need holistic, a whole package, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that I try to help my clients discover as well too. Like, no, you have multiple things, multiple solutions that you can provide, but I'll help you zone in on like where to start and then how to continue that thing, right?
Yeah.
So I love it so much that, I found getting through my own blocks around the thing that God has called me to do, I'm able to help women to step into what they're called to do. So I love that so much. And it's the same thing. I say that for my clients. Like, there are clients that are called to Casandra. And now that you've done the work, like you said, you signed up the client the other day, right? And look at that. It's like, hey, I'm ready to show up and serve for her. So.
Yeah. And it made me think too, like, when I signed up with you, I was already having this feeling of people are waiting on me and I'm not showing up. And I feel like now I have the tools to show up and I have something to offer. And that it feels great. So thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for just taking this time today to just share with, those that will be watching and all that good stuff, to share your experience and to be transparent and all that beautiful stuff. So thank you. And we're going to say bye.
Bye.
See you guys.